Hey everyone, Greta here. Today I'm gonna talk about how we practice. It's not how to get into one particular shape, it's the practice in general. Because I feel that a lot of people, when we practice, we are so concerned with how to get into it. We are so concerned with staying in the pose for a very long time, as long as we can. But then the exits or the negative, we don't pay attention to it. We just go, maybe in a side plank, we want to get into a side plank, but okay, I'm gonna get into it. I hold for a very long time until my arms are shaking like crazy. I'm still holding. But then once the teacher say, okay, let's exit into a down dog, you're like, or just kind of flop down. Or maybe in a inversion, let's say in a headstand, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it, which is perfectly fine. You go up, you're like, staying there for a very, very long time until again, every muscle is screaming. And then once the teacher says, okay, let's get out of the headstand, people go, boom, like that. Of course, a lot of other shapes as well. We can go on and on and on and on. But just to give you an idea how people practice, or maybe how you practice. Me as well, I used to do that. But then I realized that, after receiving a lot of trainings and learning a lot, that you shouldn't do that. The reason why you shouldn't do that is because there are two things. One is a lot of injuries actually happen during the exit. Reason why is because people tend to not pay attention to the exit. They collapse in the exits. And the exit is usually a transition as well. So let's say side plank, for example, right? So we are here, shake, 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 shake. We stay here. And when we get out of a side plank, we either have to go back into a plank or maybe go back into a down dog. Or even if we're like, I'm just gonna give up, boom, you're coming back down to the floor. Again, there is a movement involved for you to get out of that shape, right? That transition requires effort, requires the muscular movement. And because the body is in a moving state, if the muscles are not engaged properly to support the movement, then it's very easy to injured or to feel extremely uncomfortable in the muscle. So again, it's not an injury that would happen just all of a sudden. It might, but more so it's more like a wear and tear. So it might build up over time. So I remember doing a video on side plank to down dog or side plank to plank and saying that, some people have a lower back pain in there because of this transition. I have a lot of comments saying that, yes, agree to that, saying that, transitioning from a side plank to plank or side plank to down dog, a lot of times the lower back will feel achy. And that's the reason why. So if you are transitioning from a side plank, when you're getting away from a side plank, getting out of it, be it a plank or a down dog, it's basically the same. Instead of just kind of throwing your hips, you actually want to engage from your lower ribs all the way to your lower abdomen. Imagine this is one full set of a group, not individual muscles, that when you move out of it, you're leading with your ribs and you come back into a plank or into a down dog. So you are well supported. I want to feel the arm is pushing the floor away just to give you that much, a little bit more space. And of course, headstand is very, very self-explanatory, especially because the head is on the floor. If you come crashing down, that means that the shoulders are not supporting, then everything might just go into the neck, or other areas in the body. So that might not feel very comfortable either. Of course, other things like arm balance, maybe doing a flying split, or maybe even when you're doing wheel pose, like a back bend, when you go up, you're using a lot of effort, but then when you come down, you're just gonna flop yourself down onto the mat. Again, all those things, it's not very, very healthy for the muscles and the joints. So the next time when you actually get out of the shape, what you actually want to is reserve some energy for that exit. Okay, let's say you can hold for 10 breaths in that shape, but then you collapse during the exit, maybe stay there for 7 breaths and reserve 3 breaths to get out of that shape in a more controlled way. And that leads to the second point, not just the injury, not just a protection, but actually building more strength and awareness. So the next time when you get into the same shape, you feel easier. That's because your body, your muscles know what to do. Actually, the descent, the exit, or we call it the negative, requires so much more muscular strength than staying in the shape or going up. So let's say, for headstand, let's say you want to go and you want to learn how to pike up, meaning both legs up at the same time. Okay, I've had a lot of requests for this one. What you actually want to learn is the way down. Taking headstand for example, okay. So what you actually want to do is just to go up in your own way, of course, is with control, okay. And once you feel ready, then instead of crashing down, if you pike is what you want to do, is you want to engage your belly, engage your butt, and then try as hard as you can, shoulders away from the ears, elbows pressing down, belly hugging in, and trying to work on the negative, the landing like this, so that once this becomes more familiar, then you can pike up. For me, I'm actually very fascinated with exits. I find that being able to do them slow and with control looks very pretty, looks very cool, and on a more deeper level, I really have a stronger connection with my body, like how my muscles need to work, what I need to do, where I need to look, and how my breath is in order to have that smooth transition out of one shape and into the other. Just remember, when you're doing yoga, it's not the shape itself, it's how you approach it, you know, and how you use the practice to try to understand your body, or maybe yourself a little bit more. That's it for my sharing for today. Like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, and practice with me. I do teach online and in person. DM me, IG, Facebook. I'll get back to you ASAP. Take it easy.